were looking at the Golden Temple earlier, and we'll be coming back again for some Gurbani from there a short while from now. And we still have to go to a couple of other locations, the Dargah at Ajmer Sharif and Vaishno Devi. 2 other spots have been identified. There is a slight difference that in the case of the Golden Temple, for example, the actual Harmandir Sahib in the area within the Golden Temple is pristine. The issues are slightly, in the rest of the town. So there are slightly different problems in each of these different areas.
I think one thing that appears to be a connecting thread across all our places of worship is that the places of worship within, of course, inside are very, very clean, and then in the outside, maybe when the devotees have finished the part of the agenda that they were there for, they perhaps feel it's okay to litter. And I think there are 2 parts to that. Vikram, in most places there is a severe scarcity of dustbins, in most cases. And of course, I did watch this report where the lady said that there are dustbins every 50 feet, which is fantastic. So one, of course, is that there's this shortage of dustbins. And the second thing is there's shortage of public toilets. I mean, it's one thing to expect people not to urinate in public or not to defecate in public. The other thing is you have to give them adequate public toilets and dustbins that cater to the number of footfalls that are actually there.
I mean, just taking that point forward, if you look behind us at Juhu Beach before it gets too dark to actually see what's happening, I can't actually from one end to the other see any dustbins.
Or public
There are lots
toilet.
of people down there waving to you and, they're wanting to talk to you. Maybe we can see the pictures out there before it gets too dark. But if any of them wanted to actually throw the stuff that they have come with, they have nowhere to throw it. And if any of them wanted to use the bathroom,
there are some towards
that
yes,
end, but they're not as. Theoretically, you should have dustbins, every 50 yards.
Yeah.
Then you won't have people
well,
litter.
there are 2 ways to look at it. One is, yes, to provide a dustbin every 10, 15 feet.
And make sure it's not stolen.
And make sure it's not stolen. But somewhere you are mistrusting the people as well.
Right.
You are saying that, we're putting these because we know that they're going to throw it away. I think we also need to build some amount of trust in our people and say that, look, we are not putting dustbins, but there is one, about 100 yards away. Use that and don't dirty the spot we're in it. Maybe you can carry some kind of a small bag with you when you go onto the beach. And if you have something to throw away, just collect it on your body, on yourself, and go and empty it in that thing. I think building of trust is also very, very important.
I think putting the onus of trust on the people is also an important part of trying to carry forward Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, because I think I completely agree with Mr. Bachchan when he says that you can't possibly have bins. I mean, they of course have to be there.
They have to be there somewhere. You don't have to have it every 10 yards.
Sure, 10 yards, 20 yards, 50 yards, 100 yards. But yes, I think onus of trust is important.
The reason you're hearing the churring in your ear is that what you had asked.
We're number 1.
Yes.
Yeah. So, can we have some class, please? Thank you. This is
when you
great
ask
news.
a country to do something, they do it. So you said that Mere Daskas has to be number 1
that's
train.
not really
so
there. I think the concept of Banega Swachh India is more important than anything else. Trendings will happen, they will go up and they will come down. But I think this movement should continue. I just had a message from one of my friends who's on my blog. And we were talking about, when we go to Singapore, it's a neat and clean place. We don't spit there. But when we come back to our country, we don't hesitate to do so. He said something very interesting. He said, the kind of people that spit on the street don't go to Singapore.
I'm not sure that's accurate, to be very honest. Or the ones who litter.
It's a thought. I mean, they don't go to Singapore. So maybe we need to inculcate that habit of cleanliness amongst the people that don't have the good fortune to go to visit these foreign countries.
Gul is sounding as if she disagrees.
I'm on the fence with that one, Mr. Bachchan, because I think there are people who would like to break the law. It's just that the threat of retribution in Singapore is really, really, really severe.
We had actually some people from my old school say that, why can't we have a law?
We do
and some
have
kind
a
of
law.
a penalty.
We do have a law. There is I don't know the exact name of the law, but there is a law which prohibits littering. Thing is, we just don't have any fear of the law. I mean, when I say we, I say us collectively, and that goes from the grassroots right away to the top. And the point is, look at the way we drive on our roads. We break traffic signals with impunity. We know we could die. We still do it. So littering is a very, I think upholding the law should also be every citizen's duty. And the law doesn't, of course, be big laws that threaten life, but laws as small as not littering. So the law does exist.
Yeah.
It's just that we don't.
So that comes back, Vikram, to the point that we discussed earlier, that in our study curriculum, can we not have a subject
Yes.
which is, on civic sense? And it teaches children from a very young age how to respect the law, how to keep your city clean, how to obey traffic signals, things like that. And then once they grow up in that environment, I mean, I'm saying this with a lot of immodesty. Some of us have been fortunate enough to go to, say, boarding schools which inculcate a certain kind of discipline in all of us. Maybe that kind of temperament, if it is followed in several other schools, where you were almost under threat that if you didn't clean your shoes or didn't clean up your
You'd be in
bed,
trouble if the
you'll
shoes
be in
weren't
trouble.
polished, if the bed
Absolutely.
wasn't made,
Exactly.
yes.
This is what we discussed.
All right.